Everyone, and welcome to Fearless Fridays. My name is Dr. Benjamin Ritter. I'm a leadership and career coach that guides leaders to create a career they can say they love. So if you're stuck in a position that doesn't really feel right to you, if you know you can do more in your career, if you're a leader, you don't really believe in yourself, or if you're like many people right now and recently you're facing a layoff and aren't really sure how to navigate the job market, send me a message. I have a solution. So today I want to talk about fear, like actual fear, right? We're talking about fearlessness, and I don't think I've talked about fear specifically in a long time, but I'm seeing fear everywhere. Fear of not being able to get a job, fear of what's going to happen in the economy, fear around home values, fear around commercial real estate, fear around politics. Fear is a very real emotion. It's the whole purpose of Fearless Fridays, to help you become fearless. And there are times when you really should be afraid. You don't have a plan, you don't feel knowledgeable or understand what you're facing. There's a serious risk to your well-being. Like, those are real times to be afraid. But if we know that we are capable of solving a situation, and I actually would say the number 2 that I just said about not knowing about a situation that you're facing, that's actually not really a time you should be afraid either, if you can create a plan to learn about what you're facing. So very often we undermine the fact, like we forget, that we have faced a lot of situations in the past, that we know how to solve a problem. But usually when we're at the starting point of solving a problem, we feel fear. Or when we're solving the problem and we're not sure what an outcome of something is going to be, we feel fear. And I'd even say mistakenly, because if you are doing what you can to control what you have control over, there is no reason to be afraid. Because no matter what happens, you will figure it out. And I see this a lot in the job market. Okay, let's say you don't have the tools. You don't have the resume or the LinkedIn profile, the strategy skills. Maybe you're feeling afraid. But those are things you could easily learn or hire someone for, right? I work with clients every day in regards to that situation. Now, if you're looking for a job and you have a plan to say, okay, I know that very lucky people with a really good toolkit, that know how to navigate the job market, can get a job in a month. But that generally people get a job in 3 to 6 months. And generally you hear back from 2 to 5% of the applications that you send out for a first interview, and then the rates decrease in terms of getting the next interview. So with that knowledge, I can create a plan of action on when I should actually start feeling afraid, or when I may need to adjust my strategy based on the progress I'm making. And too often people are reaching out to me fearful of their current situation, specifically in the job market, and maybe they've applied to 5 jobs and maybe it's been about 3 weeks. So it's almost irrational to be afraid. It's almost more rational to be confident that you can figure out what to do, create a plan, and then measure your progress towards that plan to then create a solution for yourself. So ask yourself if you're feeling fear. And this was a long kind of soapbox comment on fear itself. If you're feeling fear, are you sitting in that fear, focusing on that fear, letting that fear control you? Or are you using that fear as a sign that you need to create a plan and just check in and say, am I on track? Because if you can do that, the fear will subside and you will be a little bit more fearless. And for sure, you will live so much more for yourself.